Bobcats. It's Wonderful Wednesday, September 23rd. Let's see what's going on this week. You have either started taking the MAP test, maybe you've finished taking the MAP test, or maybe some of you are going to be working on the MAP test today. I want to remind you that MAP is a test of growth. So we take it at the beginning of the year to just see where you are. Then we take it in the middle of the year to see how you've changed. And we take it at the end of the year to see how much you've grown. If you are taking MAP at home and you have a grown-up nearby, you might want to get your grown-up to remind them that it's very important that nobody helps you on the MAP test. Because remember, we want to show change over time and we want to show growth at the end of the year. So if a grown-up helps a child on the MAP test and they just do fantastic at the beginning of the year when they have help, and then they take it again at the end of the year with no help, we're not going to see growth. We're going to see regression, and we don't want to see that. Regression, that's a really good word. You need to figure out what that means. Boys and girls, figure out what that means. It's the opposite of growth. Today, if you're on campus, just to remind you, we are going to have some visitors in the building. All you need to do is just be yourself. Just go about your business. They may be coming through your classroom. They may not. They just want to see how things are going. And these are people from our district. They're also coming just to try to get a feel for what our teachers are experiencing right now as we're all working on teaching in a pandemic. It is Hispanic Heritage Month. Remember, yesterday we learned about Roberto Clemente. And today I'm going to tell you about Tomas Rivera. Tomas Rivera. He was a poet. He was born in 1935. He died in 1984. He was originally from Mexico. He wrote poetry. My family follows the crops. We move from field to field, bend, plant, harvest. How will I ever finish school? Reading comforts me. I find magazines in trash piles. Reading leads to writing. I find poetry in tomato fields and stories in the faces of weary workers. I love that line. I find poetry in tomato fields and stories in the faces of weary workers. Is he really finding poetry on people's faces? No, he's using figurative language. And this is making me connect to what a lot of you are learning about writing. He's looking at small moments that he's seeing in the people that are working in the fields near him. And he's seeing it almost like it's art. And he's writing poems about it. Those things are inspiring him. I read, I write, and I study until I am the first Latino leader of a University of California campus. Students often tell me they feel inspired by my own life story. Sometimes the best way to teach is by example. Oh my goodness, I love this one. I love it. This is another example of a survivor. I kind of like to think of survivors as champions, and this is somebody who worked really hard. Sounds like he was part of a migrant farming family from Mexico, came into California, knew how important school was, ended up going to college, and then ended up being the first Latino leader of a University of California campus. That is definitely a champion. Okay, everybody, I want you to think about what are you going to do today to make you survive and thrive and be a champion. It starts day by day. Okay, have a great one. See you tomorrow.